Today I'm going to show you how to add value. So you just need a regular pencil, you might want an extra eraser, and shout out to Miss Anetti for the paper sculpture and Miss Grimm for the original drawing, which I'm now copying. And we're just going to start adding value. Now when I start, I am speeding up the video by the way, but when I start kind of thinking out, all right, where are my lightest areas? Because those are the areas that I want to make sure I don't get too dark. Now, even though the sculpture is white and I'm drawing on white paper, I'm still going to give it just the slightest bit of light value. Then I'm going back and I'm looking for mid-tone value. So I'm going kind of for my lighter middles and my darker middles, and I'm just blocking those in. Now over here on the side, I see I've got a couple extra shadows. Those are called cast shadows from the other shape that's on top. And I want to start to really look closely at some of my forms because I'm going to see that they are going to cast shadows like this one that I'm working on now onto other surfaces. And I want to make sure I'm getting some value transitions like I'm doing here now and on that cone so that the forms start to look like they're curved. So make sure you get the darks and the mid-tones and the lights while you're working. And I'm just spending a lot of time looking at the sculpture, the photo of the sculpture, and trying to capture where the darks are and where the lights are, almost like I'm trying to draw the shapes in. Now that I've got some mid-tones and some lights, I'm going to go in and add the dark value. So I save the darks for last so that I'm sure that I'm putting them in the places where I want them because they're much harder to get rid of. And then I'm going to grab a tissue and just kind of blend it together. You can use a tool called a tortillon, which is basically a paper blender, or you can use a paper towel. You can even use your finger, although your fingers are a little oily, so it's not as nice. I usually just use a tissue to blend. And then I'm going to use my eraser and I'm going to go back and I'm going to pick out any highlights, any places where I just want the white paper to show through. Now the background. Now the background is black and it creates a really nice contrast against this white sculpture. So I'm going to really press hard and really dig in to add the background. And I'm also going to use a contrasting kind of line when I add the background. Since I blended this sculpture, it's looking pretty soft. So just to make the background kind of contrast a little bit, I'm going to use, we call it stumbling. So it's kind of almost like a scribble scrabble, controlled scribbling of sorts around the outside. And that will help make it stand out, the background stand out away from the sculpture. Also, if you see I put a tissue underneath my hand, I was starting to notice that I was kind of smearing my drawing. So you can grab an extra piece of paper for under your hand or a tissue for under your hand so that you don't smear the pencil lead all over. And I just keep at this texture. This took the longest of anything because it's quite dark. So you really have to take your time to get it as dark as you want, if you have a dark area. There's a couple different options for you, and there you have it. Good luck, guys.